That was the last of the gear from the boat. It's pretty warm here. Yes, very warm.
You'll get used to it. Well, I sure didn't expect to see you here, not even in my wildest dreams.
Well, when they asked if I'd like to do a photo documentary on Sam Peters, the famous archaeologist, it didn't take me long to make up my mind. It's a small world, huh?
So it is. I think I haven't seen you since our college days. How long ago was that?
Can't be all that long ago. We're both still in our early 20s.
Right. And you still look just as attractive now as you did then.
Thanks.
So, before you get so embarrassed that the ground swallows you up, would you like to rest for a bit? You must be tired after that long journey.
Asleep on my feet, to be honest, but there's a couple of things I'd like to know before I hit the hay, or my curiosity will probably keep me awake.
Okay, here's a brief summary. I followed up on some rumors about the existence of an ancient temple. After months of searching, I finally found it. A few weeks ago, my team and I started examining the outside of the temple more closely.
Your team? Where did they all go?
That's a long story.
Keep it short.
I had 5 native assistants and 2 colleagues from the university in Jakarta, but the moment we got here, things started going wrong.
In what way?
There were certain incidents. At first, it was things disappearing, then scaffolding collapsing, and finally, my 2 colleagues just vanished without a trace.
Without a trace? You mean they never came back?
No. Instead, this guy showed up and told my native workers that they were desecrating sacred ground.
What guy?
I don't know. He certainly wasn't dressed for the jungle. Went about wearing some kind of robe all the time. A really sick individual.
So what did he want?
He said that the volcano in the west of the island was going to erupt soon, and that only Puritas Cordis could help us escape from all the disasters that are about to strike.
Puritas Cordis? That European sect that keeps predicting the imminent end of the world?
Beats me. I would assume he was just some grave robber trying to get rid of us so he could have the temple's treasures to himself. That volcano hasn't been active in decades.
Looks like his threats got to your workers, though.
No, they didn't run away until the guy came back, ranting about how something terrible would happen very soon unless they left this place at once. Next day, they found a dead orangutan in the camp. This animal is sacred to the natives, so they freaked out. I've never seen anyone run so fast and so far.
And you've been here alone ever since?
Yes. I've sent for more people from the mainland, but these things take longer here than they do elsewhere.
So I've noticed. Have you been inside the temple yet?
No. I found the back entrance, but I cannot get the door open. It has a strange inscription. I managed to decipher it, but that didn't get me anywhere. I'll show you tomorrow.
Okay. I think it's time I got some sleep anyway. Oh, just one more thing. What's with the strange totem set up all around the camp? You're not superstitious, are you?
No, don't worry. But the peacock feathers keep the wild animals away.
Really? How so?
They see the big eyes on the feathers and think, wow, if that's the size of its eyes, how big is the whole animal? And then they scoot fast.
Oh, okay. But it doesn't seem to have worked on that monkey over there.
Thank goodness. He's the only one left. Every morning when I walk over to the temple, the little guy runs on ahead and waits for me there. He comes to get me in the evenings, too.
I see your magnetism doesn't work on humans alone.
You'd better get yourself to bed. I'll show you around tomorrow. Maybe your flirting will improve after a good night's sleep.
I'll do my best. Sweet dreams.
Thanks. Same to you.
Help me!
Sam, no funny business, or I'll bump you off on the spot.
What's going on? Sam?
I'll go back to my patrol then. You should be able to handle this, right?
Sure.
Remember, the girl must not cross our plans. The last couple of test runs were far from perfect. And if the dress rehearsal goes bad as well, we'll be facing one heck of a problem.
I get it. I'm not stupid.
Well, one could argue about that. But I hope you know what is at stake. This UN meeting gives us a unique opportunity. Puritas Cordis cannot pass up this chance.
The bimbo won't escape. I'm watching her like a hawk.
Hello? I am not a bimbo! And I won't be locked up either. What is all this about, anyway? Let me out of here now!
We warned you more than once, but you just had to go all heroic on us. You should have done what your workers did. They were smarter than you and cleared out right away.
How dare you talk to me like that? I have a right to know what...
Shut it. One more word and I'll break your jaw. I've gotta go. Keep guard here until I come back. And if she gives you trouble, just shut her up for good.
Okay.
Uh-oh, another fine mess I've gotten myself into. I have no idea what they want from me, but they don't appear to be the most likable people I ever associated with. At least that one guy has left. He made an extremely brutal impression. I hope the other one isn't quite as nasty. No idea whether Max is still alive, but somehow I need to draw attention to myself. Maybe somebody out there will notice. Should I take the orange? Or maybe the banana? A raspberry, perhaps? If I had a drop of sherry, some lemon juice, and a little whipped cream, I could make a fruit salad. I'll just take one of these oranges. I'll just take one of these oranges. I'll just take one of these oranges. I should not remove more than 3 pieces of fruit or someone might notice, and the stupid guard will start asking stupid questions. Not a bad concept. The oranges roll smoothly enough and could be used as wheels. Maybe I can build something around this. The signal rocket goes into the bamboo tube, and then I adjust it a little, and voila! We've got what I like to call a mobile rocket launch pad. A bold design and a bold plan. Fits well together. I only hope my little contraption will stay on course.
Oh, why do these things keep happening to me? Ooh, what a mess. Someone should really... Where is Sam? What happened here? I vaguely remember hearing voices and... Oh, they kidnapped Sam. What am I going to do? Find Sam? But where do I look? She could be anywhere. I don't know my way around the island, and there are plants growing everywhere. Not a chance. What was that? The signal rocket was fired near the temple. Did Sam do that? Or could it be a trap? I've got to risk it. I can't let Sam down. If these totems really keep the wild animals away, I had better leave them in place. Let's see if there's anything useful in here. Sam sure carries some strange things around. Very strange things. Some of these tent poles still look halfway usable. I'll take them with me. The explosion destroyed everything else, I'm afraid. I don't think I should light the fire. If the guys who kidnapped Sam come back and find a campfire burning, they're bound to start looking for me. I I don't usually go around tearing out flowers, but maybe these will be of some use. I'll fill this with some water. Good idea. That will keep the blossoms nice and fresh. Just wait a few minutes. Hibiscus tea, very nice. Now what do I do with it? Now it's red dye, not at all appetizing. I wonder what it will turn into if I wait any longer. I don't have that much time. Better just take the stuff as it is. This is just like paradise. I'll just use these tent poles to stabilize the fence. Done. Smart fish. Instead of getting caught in the fence, they jump over the top. Pretty clever. Use the flag as a fishing net? Okay, why not? I guess it's worth a try. Well, that was quick. I might consider a career as a fisherman. It's stuck pretty tight, and anyway, the fish seem to like it. The papaya is now red. A donut in clear plastic wrap. I'll just remove the wrap. Nina Kalenkov, my ex-girlfriend. Something between heaven on earth and the fires of hell. Hey, how would you like a tasty papaya? There, buddy. Now you've got red hands too. I don't care how fast you run now, just as long as you stay on the ground so I can follow your red tracks. This looks like the temple. There's no sign of sand, though. The monkey's tracks lead around the temple. Guess I should follow them. There she is. She's locked in a cage, and the guard is heavily armed. Things aren't looking too good from here. Maybe there's another way to get to her.
Max! He's alive! He found me! Now I stand a fighting chance of getting out of this cage in one piece. I had better keep quiet so the guard won't get suspicious. As long as I am the only one who knows that Max is prowling around this temple, our chances of launching a surprise attack aren't all that bad. I only hope that Max has got a plan, preferably a good one.
If only I had a plan. I'll just take some of these. get there without being spotted by the guard. We'll just get rid of the spider web first. Right, and now up goes the flag. Now what? Yikes! They must be really hungry. There are still a few bees about, but I'll risk it. Phew, that was lucky. I got through it all unscathed. I can't get out from behind the tree without being spotted, but maybe it will smell bad enough from here to distract the guard. The guard isn't reacting at all. I guess the distance is just too great. The bamboo tube is too short to push that smelly monster any closer to the guard. I'll put 2 of these poles together. That will give me an extended range.
Yuck! What is this horrible stench? It's worse than a skunk!
If I ever decide to become an evil mastermind, I'm going to make sure I never employ guards with sensitive noses. Come on, my little buddies. I'm here to rescue you from the nasty monster spider. This isn't some TV crime show, and I'm not a forensics expert. This scrap isn't gonna tell me the family history of the person it belonged to, nor what that person dined on this week, so I may as well just leave it there. Some kind of strange writing. I have no idea what it means. Why do so many Why do so many people like beer? It must be hereditary. At home, we only use the stuff to catch slugs in the garden. I don't even know which of these have been planted and which of them are just weeds. Botany is not a hobby of mine. You can use bacon to catch mice and beer to catch slugs. I always did like that kind of gardening advice. The can is open. I'll just leave it there. Otherwise, I'll probably spill it all over my pants, and then I'll smell like a hobo for days. Some documents that belong to Sam. That would be a mean thing to do. First, I save the fireflies from the evil monster spider, and then I feed them to a carnivorous plant? No, I'm not that cruel. Pretty big. It must weigh around 200 grams. I wouldn't be surprised if it eats more than just flies. By the time I've waded through the water to reach the frog, it will have hopped onto the next leaf and be sitting there laughing at me. Being laughed at by a frog is definitely not good for my self-esteem. Some kind of strange... The symbols can't be pushed or... According to the heading, this is a translation of the temple door's inscription. Sam must have put a lot of effort into this. It says, "Honor the goddess enthroned above all. With her radiant being and ever-open eye, she looks down upon her subjects, the mute and the homeless. Yet they have no one to blame for their miserable state but themselves. Were they not so self-centered, then they could see the riches at their feet, the queen's gold." According to the heading, this is a translation of the temple doors. Honor the goddess enthroned above all. With her radiant being and ever-open eye, she looks down upon her subjects, the mute and the homeless. Yet they have no one to blame for their miserable state. A slug has actually climbed onto the can. I'll rescue it before it drowns. Done! Yes, I am so great. They should make me the leading man in a movie or in a computer game. Okay. Let's see what awaits me in this temple and how I can get to Sam.
Oh, what was that? The barkeeper shoots at me and then takes off in a helicopter seconds before the ship is swallowed by a gigantic monster wave? Did I just dream that? Why would that guy shoot at me? And did he know about the wave, or did the helicopter just happen to pick him up at exactly the right moment? Probably not. After all, he was going on and on about the end of the world and being rescued by that Puritas Cordis sect. What is the meaning of all this? By Poseidon. Looks like I've got quite another set of problems for now. The ship hasn't sunk yet, but since it capsized because of that monster wave, it only appears to be a question of time. I've got to get out of here, and fast. I'm sure there is plenty of water below this hatch. I can't reach it. The cabinet is secured by a combination lock. A picture of the ship naming ceremony. In order to open the drawers, I need to enter the correct number code first. 7, 4, 7, 5. I wonder whether that was the right sequence of numbers. I think that was correct. The drawer is empty, but I could at least use it as a makeshift stairway in order to reach the upper hatch. I will place the bongo drum under the pipe with its open end up. That sounded hollow. There seems to be no water on the other side. There isn't much left of that fancy reception area. It's securely fastened. Tugging on that won't help. I will pour a little water into the pipe. All right, I've got the oil. Now for an opportunity to make good use of it. Right now the lever is set to stop. I could set it to either full speed ahead or full reverse speed. Full speed ahead. The steel girder is way too heavy. I can't lift it without some kind of equipment. Let's hope this will hold. I can't think of a better alternative. Right now, the lever is set to stop. I could set it to either full speed ahead or full reverse speed. And now the other way. A little oil could do wonders for the rusty wheel.
Oh, but where am I?
We're on a capsized ship that could sink any minute now, and you've been trapped under a massive steel girder. But I'll think of something, don't worry.
Don't worry. When should I be worried, if not now?
Good point. But I'm sure I can find a way out of this. You saved my life after all. I owe you.
Thank you, but I boarded the ship for a reason. You remember the incident at the harbor?
The man who had that fatal accident?
Exactly. He must have slipped you a letter right before it happened.
But I haven't got any letter. Besides, there are more important things we should be worrying about right now. We need to get out of here.
Why do you think such odd things happened on board? Why do you think people had to die? Trust me, this is important. I will not leave the ship without this document. You must find this letter.
My handbag. Looks like everything is still here. All kinds of papers. I don't think I will find that letter here, but maybe at least this will help convince the guy who saved my life that it makes no sense to go looking for it. I found my ticket. And just like I thought, there isn't a... Oh, but there is. It's true then. The man at the harbor really did slip me a letter. But the document is full of cryptic symbols. I can't make heads or tails of it. And the enclosed drawing doesn't make much sense either.
Did you find the letter?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And now you must find a way out of here.
I can't just leave the man behind here. Come on! I actually managed to find that blasted letter. So now we should get out of here as fast as we can.
What? How? All right.
We're going to have to dive a few yards. Do you think you can make it?
I will have to. It's not like I've got a choice. The cold water is bound to keep me awake for a few minutes.
Right, let's go. That was close. Much too close.
Yes, I...
Are you okay?
Yes. No, not really. You wouldn't happen to have some sugar on you?
Sugar? You've got some nerve.
Diabetes. I'm hypoglycemic right now. I need glucose or a little sugar. Otherwise,
Otherwise, what?
otherwise, I will faint again. And in a few hours, I will die.
Are you kidding? No. By the look of you, I guess you're not. Hello? He's not reacting. He's still conscious, but totally lethargic. Here I am, stuck on a beach in the middle of nowhere without a living soul in sight, and my only companion needs glucose or some form of sugar. Where am I supposed to find that? My goodness, what a mess! Oh, I hope there's something usable in here. A lot of the stuff in here is damp, but this still looks dry enough to wear. I'll just take one of these. I bet it contains all kinds of handy tools. Unfortunately, it's locked. The car battery contains a strong acid. If I pour just a little on this lock, that should do the trick. Yes, it worked! Quite an impressive selection of tools, but I don't have anything to tinker with right now. I'll just wind this hose around here. Let's see. A handful of worthless documents and a candy bar. If I bend this sheet of metal a bit and then lodge it between those teeth, there, it worked. The documents from the briefcase. Bills and other insignificant papers. I'd have to go near that live power cable. Much too risky. Good idea. I'm sure the sugar in this candy bar would help him, but I'm afraid he's in no condition to chew anything at the moment. I should find something for him to drink. I've always wanted to have a go at firing one of these. Luckily, there's a pair of insulated pliers in the toolbox. Okay, here goes. The power's off. If I tear up these documents, they should burn quite well. Up the pole, down the pole, up the pole, down the pole. Who am I, Tarzan? Yay, it worked. The documents are on fire. The power's off. Let's hope this doesn't result in a high jet of flame. I don't need a bad hair day on top of everything else. Great. Now I have a lovely fire going that should burn for some time, hopefully. This has seen better days. I might be able to throw this bag far enough, but I don't think it would have sufficient oomph, or kinetic energy, to use a more technical expression. And now for my attempt at a new bag-throwing record. I'm a genius. Before I scoop up any water, I need to make sure the bucket doesn't fill up with any rubbish and dirt. The flood wave flushed out plenty into the sea. Let's see if there's anything useful in here. Rats, no glucose, just a couple of bandages. Looks like I'll have to think of something else. Let's mummify this. Good idea. That way I should be able to get some reasonably clean water. If I drop the candy bar in cold water, it will just float on top. Then what? I could hang this bucket of water on the hat stand. All right, that's what I'll do then. So, what's on the menu today? Good idea, but I'll pour away some of this water first. I'm sure I don't need that much for this little candy bar. There, that's better. Soup au chocolat. This recipe may get me my own cooking show someday. The candy bar has melted. I can take the bucket down now. It will probably still taste a bit salty, but in this case, the end justifies the means. Here, drink this. It will help.
Ah, thank you so much. I really needed that.
You're welcome. Looks like I've taken the lead in our little life-saving contest. You owe me.
Yes, you're probably right. You'll want some answers to your questions, I suppose.
Well, I've been robbed, knocked out, shot at, and nearly drowned. I'd say a few answers are the least I can expect, wouldn't you?
Right. Let's start at the beginning. First, my name is David Corell. I'm a vicar in Berlin, and I investigate sects and the dangers they pose on behalf of the church.
Pleased to meet you. Nina Kalinkov.
Very nice to meet you. So, as I said, I deal with certain associations outside of the church. Some time ago, I came across a new, very aggressive sect by the name of Puritas Cordis.
The sect of that televangelist, Pat Shelton?
Right on. Apparently, Puritas Cordis believes in the prophecies of Zandona, an obscure 17th century French prophet.
Something along the lines of Nostradamus?
Yes, but the prophecies of Nostradamus were really vague and quite open to interpretation. Zandona, on the other hand, predicted a series of very real disasters. They were supposed to happen in a specific order, culminating in the apocalypse.
Zandona. Now, where have I heard that name before?
I tried to look him up in old church archives. Not very successfully, though.
You mean there's nothing at all about Zandona?
Not much. At least not anymore. The central registers are missing several tomes of records from this period. And I didn't have much luck in other archives either. Practically all records that might have contained some information about Zandona have vanished into thin air. Then, 2 weeks ago, a centuries-old parchment surfaced in Cambridge. A letter from a nun mentioning Zandona. The very letter you're carrying right now.
Ah, so that's what these people on the ship were looking for?
I think so, yes. Anyone who possesses it is definitely in danger.
Just my luck.
The last person who had the letter before you was my colleague, Patterson. He was going to follow some clues from the letter in northern France. He was the one who slipped you the letter at the harbor. He was probably being followed, and when he noticed, he passed the letter on to you. Not a moment too soon. May the Lord have mercy on his soul.
And now I'm stuck with it.
Unfortunately, yes. I'm so sorry that you got dragged into this. I witnessed the so-called accidents at the harbor. I realized he must have given someone the letter, so I boarded the ship in his place. I wanted to make sure the letter didn't fall into the wrong hands, and that its new owner was safe.
People are being murdered for an old letter? Could its contents really be that important?
Ashford, England, Anno Domini 1681. Now that my grey life is moving towards its equally grey closure, I can finally muster the courage to write down what I saw. My hands are still shaking today when I think of all the poor souls of Gatineau. I will never forget them. Screaming women, burning houses, crying children. A flaming inferno. Just like he predicted. Just like every single one of the disasters he foretold. This Zandona, he may be a man of faith. He may be a prophet. But is he also a man of God? There is no sense in musing about that now. I have failed. The key lay within my hands. The key that could have halted all the looming disasters and changed the course of events. The burning mountains, the great flood, the apocalypse. Perhaps it was up to me to prevent them. But my faith was weak. All those years, the key lay well hidden within the ruins of Gatineau, and the saint who showed me the way appeared to me in a dream every night. But my fear was too great, and I never returned there. I have failed, and therefore all I have left is hope, the hope that those brothers and sisters who follow may not succumb to the phantoms of fear, doubt, and weakness, as I did. The hope that they may boldly take the only path that is still open, strong in faith and fearless in action. I pray to God that it might be thus. Otherwise, the last of the prophecies will come true as well, and our fates will be sealed. May the Lord be with you. May you find the strength to take the key and try to stem the tide of Zandona's prophecies. Forgive me, Sister Elise.
That doesn't sound good.
Not good? Sister Elise basically announced that the apocalypse is almost upon us.
Oh, come on. That seems a bit exaggerated.
Have you already forgotten the flood wave then?
How could I?
See? And what did the letter say? It mentioned a flood wave, didn't it?
That could be a coincidence.
And by mere coincidence, some people are leaving dead bodies in their wake just to get their hands on this letter? And by mere coincidence, during these last few weeks, a major part of the very disasters that Zandona foretold happened one after the other, in the exact order of the prophecy.
Which is...
First pestilence and disease, just like the epidemic in Western Africa that still has millions of people living as fugitives.
So you think that was the first harbinger? What next?
Next, the punishment of the greedy.
The burning oil fields in the Middle East leading up to a severe economic crisis?
Probably, and then a war.
There are plenty of those to choose from. But the most gruesome is probably the Civil War in South America, triggered by the collapse of the financial system.
Earthquake.
Japan.
Burning mountains.
The volcanic eruptions in Southeast Asia.
Followed by a flood.
Which we've seen for ourselves. You're beginning to scare me.
I am sorry, but this is what Zandona's prophecy says. And it is also what the Puritas Cordis sect is preaching. I have no idea what the key might be that Sister Elise mentions in her letter, but she seems to think that the prophecies can be stopped by using this key.
How can anyone stop a prophecy?
Beats me, but I know this much. If there is even the slightest possibility that all those disasters may actually be followed by the apocalypse, we have a real problem on our hands. And if there is even a remote possibility of stopping the apocalypse, or at least taking some appropriate preventive measures, then we should definitely make use of it.
Okay, you're right. I can't and won't really believe that a bunch of old prophecies are about to come true. But looking down from a cloud afterwards and saying, if only I had, doesn't seem too tempting either. What do you suggest?
We need to go to Gatineau.
Where exactly is that?
The place vanished from the history books centuries ago. But a few years ago, they discovered the ruins of a small town that they think is Gatineau. And if there is anything left to find there, we must do so before anyone else does. Before it's too late.
Then we should head there immediately. There's another section of beach over that way. Maybe we'll find something there that will help us get away from here. I'm going to need your help, though. It's a rather steep descent.
That should be all right. I'm still feeling sort of shaky, but I guess I'll be up to lending you a hand for a little climb. When you want to come back, just let me know. I'll help you get up here then.
Great. I'm going to take a look around.
You do that. Maybe you can somehow fix the boat over there. And it would be good to know where on earth we are.